What's up, my peoples? It is your boy AMG here, and today we are talking about Run with the Wind, Season 1, Episode 19, The Moment of Release. Now, we leave off on the last episode where Prince is actually about to start running. So they actually start the race this episode. And they take off, start running, and we just see, flashbacks back and forth from Prince running now and then talking to Haji, and Haji just giving him small advice here and there. And we go to a part where Haji tells Prince, like, I'm sorry for forcing you to run, for forcing you to do this. And Prince makes this face like, and then we switch back to where Prince is running again, and he's like, I gotta try harder. I can't give up, because if I give up all of these people on my team who have tried their hardest to get this far, it would be for nothing. And he's like, I'm strong, like pumping himself up, like I can do this, because we all know Prince is not really an athlete, but really these last few episodes he really looks like one. Like he's starting to become one, like Hanamichi and like Slam Dunk. He's getting there. Like at first he was a complete novice, but now he really looks like he could be one. And man, you guys just don't understand. Prince is my favorite character. Like he really is. His personality and how he acts and everything was the embodiment of how I was when I was in high school. But anyway, and then we switch to section 2 of the Hokkaido Akiden. And they're talking about Owaniki of Kofu Academy, one of the African foreign exchange students that we've seen running in the earlier episodes. And in the same breath of air, they end up talking about Musa too. And we're like, what? Musa's up there now too? They're like, he just had experience from this like spring. And I'm like, yo, really? They're putting him on now? Like they made it that far where he's getting put on? And they're like, we're excited to see him run. And I'm like, yo, man, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this either. And Kakeru and Musa are watching, the race on their phone, the broadcast. And they turn around while they're talking about it. I'm like, what? And they look and he bows down like, thank you. And they're like, oh, thank you for, paying attention. And then the Awaniki guy comes up and he talks to Kakeru like, oh, I'm kind of upset that we don't get to race together because I really enjoyed our race from last time. And Kakeru looks at Musa and is like, yo, don't worry about it. Our Ace will get it. He won't disappoint you. And I said, Ace? Yo, Ace? No way. I was like, Musa's the Ace? Okay, bro, I see you. Finally. They call Musa the Ace. Kakeru said that, and Kakeru is amazing, and man, that's crazy. And then he ends up getting a call, and it's a call from Takashi's like, I seen you on TV, and when we get done with the race, let's go see snow. My village that I lived in, it snows a lot. It's like a white wonderland. And he was like, oh yeah, that would be fun. Us having snowball fights and us just running around enjoying ourselves. And so they hang up the phone and we see Yuki come out of nowhere like, you shouldn't be worried about anybody else, because we all know from last episode Yuki was sick because he's been overdoing it, and I'm guessing he has been sleeping and everything like he's supposed to, and he's ended up sick. And that's the plot point that's going to be interesting, because he could ruin the whole thing because he wasn't asking for help like he should have. But yeah, that is just a small plot point that they threw in there that just keeps it in the back of our head. Just guys, remember that while you're watching this, or when you're watching the anime, just remember that small little tidbit of information. And then we switch back to Prince running again. And he's just, looking exhausted. And the coach is on the megaphone in the van following them, saying, yo, I have a message from Haji that he never got to tell you. He said, make it to the end of your section, even if you have to crawl there. And then it goes back to a flashback, and it goes back to the answering Haji when he said, I'm sorry for forcing you to do this. And Prince is like, I didn't want to hear that. He's like, Joe, Hanamichi, Ippo, Sakamichi, Sanjugo, Hinata, and Iwari, Senna, Guro, Tsuba, Ryoma. He said, I like the protagonists of the story, but I also love the people who lead them. He was like, they're all strong. And a athlete doesn't want to show too much kindness because they all want to win. And I'm like, yo, Prince, bro. Prince, you are my favorite. I've watched and read every one of those mangas. They're the reason why I got so deep into sports. They're the reason why I love sports manga so much. And I wanted to get into it because of camaraderie. Just finding friends from doing it. Just working hard and achieving a goal that you did with your own body. Man, I love this series and I love Prince, man. And then Prince is like, I got drugged into this and I suffered. But if I hadn't have done this, I would have hated myself more. If I never would have tried this, I wouldn't have got this far. And you see him exhausted, about to fall over. And then we see Musa and Kakeru and Haji waiting for him at the end of his section. And he gives off the sash to Musa, and Musa pats him on the shoulder and takes off. Like, good job. And Prince collapses. And Haji's like, I'm sorry for what I said before. He's like, just thank you for finishing your section. Thank you for running with me. And I'm just like, oh man, I love this anime. And then they're breaking up the episode into parts where everybody gets their little own section character arc kind of thing. And that's very, a very cool idea, because within a lot of sports animes, they only focus on the main characters. So that would be Kakeru and Haji. But they're actually focusing on the supporting characters like everybody else in the team, which I really love about this series. So man, I can't wait for everybody. And then now we're about to get into Musa. I love Musa's part because he starts to run and he sees kind of like, I guess, back home where he used to run in Africa, where you can see, flamingos flying in the sky, and it's like beautiful scene right there. And we move back to the coach talking to Haji and Kakeru because he's going too fast, apparently. He's running too fast. But when we see the episode, he's actually just feeling it. He's really into it. He's just running as fast as possible and just enjoying it. It's not like he's getting tired. He's just in the zone. Because you guys know, if you play sports, or even if you play video games or anything, even if you like to write or you read manga or something like that, period, or you draw or you play music, you're so in the zone that you're doing so much work that you're not privy to what you're doing. Your body just takes over because you're enjoying it so much that you really don't want to stop. And that's what kind of is happening to him right now. And he's supposed to be the ace of the team. Everybody's calling him the ace. This part is supposed to be the glory section. That's what everybody calls it. But he's like, don't think of it as the glory section. Just think of it as just a part of the 10 of us running together so we can make it to the end goal. And I'm just, oh man, I love Musa's part too, because you can see him growing, and the fact that they called him the ace, and I'm like, yo. We even see a scene where Haji and Musa are in the bath, and he's telling him, you have to do section 2 because it's a critical part, and you're the only one who can do it bravely, calmly, and without fail. And I'm like, yo, the belief in him is crazy. And he starts doubting himself, and those words is bring him back up. He's just feeling good, and he starts running faster and faster, and he gets real close to the lead pack that still hasn't finished yet in their section. And he's like, whoa, I thought I was slowing down. I thought I slowed down. I guess I didn't. And we move over to the oldest twin, Joruto, and he's talking to King, and he's like, did you find a job yet? And King's like, why would you even ask that? He was like, well, I'm nervous, and I'm trying to, he's nervous, he's trying to calm down. And King sees his legs shaking, and he was like, no, I can't do it. When was I gonna have time to look for a job when I'm running? And he was like, true. And he was like, well, you could always run again next year. And he was like, what? And so King confirmed he's running next year. And Johto is like, he was like, "Are you running next year?" And Jojo didn't say anything, and I was like, "You changed the subject." Then we see him start to get ready and warmed up, and he's waiting at the finish line, and we see Musa running like he's going off, like really going past. He passed 4 people just before the finish line, and they're like, "Yo, this is so much fun." He's like, "Running, I can't believe you could just beat somebody just by running. This is a great sport, basically." He's like, "You got friends and foes on here." And as soon as he crossed the finish line for his section, and he gives Giorgio the sash, Giorgio's like, "Good job, Ace." And I'm like, "Yo, I love this show." So now it's Giorgio's part. And after Jotaro takes the flag and runs off, he's jogging, and you just hear him talk about how he thinks how great Musa did. And he's like, "Yo, he did amazing. It makes me want to go off and go crazy and do just as good as he did, if not better." And he's like, "Gosh, running." He was like, "It's so amazing." And he talks to King, was like, King basically confirmed that he's going to run next year. He's like, "But sorry, King, this might be my last year." Because he basically says that him and his brother are always treated as the same person, but they're 2 different people. And his brother, which is Jotaro, he's like, "Yo, he's doing great. He loves running. He's faster than me. He cares about it more." And basically, he's like, "I want him to have his own thing that he is good at." He's like, "He's better than me at something, and I want him to have it by himself because we are 2 different people." And I'm like, "Yo, that is amazing that he cares about his brother that much, that he sees the growth in his brother." And sometimes twins, have problems with that, but he seems like he really cares about his little brother. And I'm loving that you really get in depth with him, because every time you see them in the episodes, they always are portrayed like they're stupid, but really they are just like fun loving, like to have fun, like to not have people down and just upset and everything, and they try to keep the mood up. And I really love that this is how he feels. Funniest part about this episode is when Jotaro is getting closer to the finish line of his section, he sees Hana and she's like, "You can do it, you can do it." And he's like, "What? Did she cheer me on? I think she likes me." It was like, dude, where did you get that from? Why would you just assume that? Which I kind of think she does, but it's like, bro, why would you even think about that at a time like this? And then he runs to the finish line and he sees his brother, and his brother's like, Jotaro is like, "Yo, my brother's doing great, even in competition. Woo, let's get it." And he just, Jotaro is running, and he's like, "Yo, brother, I think Hana," and he gives him the freaking sash, "likes me." And he gives him the sash, and then that is the freaking end of the episode. And I'm like, what? But anyway, I love this episode. I love sports manga, man. Gosh, if you guys have not read this or watched any of the episodes, you need to go back to 1 and watch them again, man. It is amazing. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. And remember, anime, manga, and gaming is all that. And I'm out.